Yeah. King Simon presents wisdom from the elders, knowledge for the people. From the names to the numbers, from the birthdays to the patterns. Welcome to the ministry of numerovation. King Simon! King Simon, numbers never lie. King Simon! We elevate the mind. He brought the elders to the people, let the wisdom flow. Ancient knowledge for the future, helping spirits grow. Dr. Sebi spoke the truth, gave the word a key. Dr. Africa brought the knowledge of our history. Queen Afua brought the healing, showing how to rise. Lloyd Strayhorn read the numbers, open many eyes. My bowman shared the wisdom, my boo brought the light. King Simon built the platform where the elders could unite. Every name has a vibration, every date has information, every word can show a sign. When you learn to read between the lines, King Simon, wisdom for the nation, breaking down the numbers through the art of numerovation. Names and birthdays, words and signs, patterns moving through the rhythm of time. King Simon, helping people see the numbers tell a story, hidden underneath motivation, elevation, knowledge for the mind. Follow King Simon, numbers never lie. One for the spirit, two for the mind, three for the pattern, four for the sign, five for the movement, six for the soul, seven brings the wisdom, let the knowledge unfold. The Simon summaries, bringing news into the light, taking trending conversations, breaking down what's right, looking at the headlines from a numerical view, showing every pattern hiding underneath the news. Metaphysical levels deeper than the eye, connecting all the symbols from the earth into the sky. Not just entertainment, this is food for thought. Every lesson brings a jewel, every number can be taught. Every name has a vibration, every date has information, every word can show a sign. When you learn to read between the lines, King Simon, wisdom for the nation, breaking down the numbers through the art of numerovation. Names and birthdays, words and signs, patterns moving through the rhythm of time. King Simon, helping people see the numbers tell a story, hidden underneath motivation, elevation, knowledge for the mind. Follow King Simon, numbers never lie. Who brings the wisdom? Who brings the wisdom? Who brings the wisdom? Who brings the wisdom? King Simon. Who reads the signs? King Simon. Who honors the elders? King Simon. Who elevates the mind? King Simon. Feel the drum, feel the sound, ancient wisdom all around. From the ancestors to the youth, numbers guide us to the truth. King Simon, wisdom for the nation, breaking down the numbers through the art of numerovation. Names and birthdays, words and signs, patterns moving through the rhythm of time. King Simon, let the message fly, motivation through the numbers, reaching spirits worldwide. The ministry is moving out of people recognize. Follow King Simon, numbers never lie. King Simon presence, the ministry of numerovation. The Simon summaries, honoring the elders, teaching the people, elevating the vibration. Hey, King Simon, numbers never lie.
Is Jesse Jackson Jr. from the House of Appropriation, and the other one was Mr. Leonard Muhammad from the Nation of Islam. I said, wow, today is the day I'm going to tell the world and all these brothers, Leonard Muhammad from the Nation of Islam, the other one, Jesse Jackson Jr., oh, it's over. It's over. The world will know that Dr. Sebi Coates, and he will be, for the first time, Dr. Sebi would be useful to you because you would hear it from the mouth of the leaders. Have you heard it? No. Have you heard it? No. So what happened to Mr. Leonard Muhammad and Mr. Jesse Jackson Jr.? Who? President Bush. May God bless this man. May God save this man. President Bush said that he appropriated $5 billion to fight AIDS. And and he's a white boy, right? And Mr. Jesse Jackson Jr., who's a brother, he didn't tell no one that his brother cured AIDS. But Mr. President Bush appropriated $5 billion. And we say the white man is dead. You all forget about John Brown? Did he give his life for us? Yes. Of course he did. Then sometime we would say, we should have never been brought from Africa. Where in Africa would you like to live today? You see? You see? We were supposed to be here right now. Whether we like it or not. But that doesn't mean that that's a negative. Because they took, what's his name? Not Moses, but the other one, Joseph, to Egypt to be a slave. And he became the prince. Well, they brought us here and Barack is the president. Now, Michael goes and tells this audience that the gift that he had for Africa was me. Wow. I looked at the 17 ambassadors like they didn't hear anything. My wife said, just make another trip. Where we going this time, girl? We're going to Uganda. Oh, God. I went to Uganda to look at me like I was stupid. I said, now, is it that everything has to manifest in its own time? That's what's happening. Yes, I cure AIDS. And how do I go about curing AIDS? Let me break that down now. To make it very simple, to cure AIDS, Dr. Sebi didn't go to school, period. He didn't go to medical school. He's not a biochemist. He's not a biologist. He just happened to use the brain power of the African gene. It's nothing really fantastic. What the brain showed me was that when the human body is sick, it's because we've been eating the wrong food. And where did I hear that for the first time? Messenger Elijah Muhammad. That's right. He was the first man to say that. I think the only man. So when you put gasoline in a diesel car, it's not going to run right, right? So now we need the love that God provided for us. We need to eat the food that God made. How I go about curing AIDS and sickle cell and lupus, I give everybody the same compounds. Well, how does it address all these various manifestations of disease? Because there's only one disease. There's never been two. There's only one.
Mucus.
Mucus.
What?
When the mucous membrane has been compromised, you will have a disease where that compromising takes place. If it's in the nasal passage, it's sinusitis. If it's in the lungs, it's pneumonia. But this mucus on the lungs, mucus in the bronchial tubes, is what? Bronchitis. Then the physician says, and what about AIDS? And what about AIDS, you and your one disease theory? I said, Your Honor, I do not believe in theories because I have never been to school. You see, I either know or I don't know. I don't live in a world of theories or belief. No, I don't live there. He asked, what about AIDS? Yes, Dr. Sebi, where the mucus is in the blood, the skin, and the lymphatic system, which makes up what? The immunological system. That's where you find the mucus. And I know, because I'm the only one curing AIDS as for right now that I know about. I hope that there are others, and they should be. Not only Sebi. Why should Sebi take on that great responsibility? No, it shouldn't be like that. But it is like that. It is where we are now. We should be here for a reason. Like Pushkin the Russian philosopher, the Russian writer, he said that there could be no occurrence unless that occurrence was supposed to occur. And that's the fact. How could you deny it? It's like writing history without writing about Hitler. Whether you like him or not, did he live?
Yeah.
Thank you. We are on the same journey. So as I make this compound to cleanse the body, I also found something out. That when they removed us from Africa, there were a mineral that they didn't give us from that day until now. Iron. None of us have had iron in our body. And there could be no disease manifesting unless there's a deficiency of iron. Impossible. So what did Dr. Sebi do? He cleansed the body, feed the body the minerals that the body needs, and the body repairs itself. It's as simple as that. But look what I have to go through. Look what I have to go through now. But my daughter, Zave, I don't know, because she's 25, she seemed to have a greater hook on things than Daddy. She took 3 of my compounds. One is a salve that Daddy been making for 28 years. She changed that around. Her own genius. She made a product known as Banju. Banju. Any child that is suffering with ADD or any associated deficiency of the brain, it's over in 24 hours. My daughter did that. And so could you. So could all of you. We ought to do it. But we have never been introduced to the path that will avail us the privilege to do such. One of the conquerors, you see, if I was to walk in your house today and I tell you to get out of your house, and if you don't get out, I'm going to chop your head off and I'm going to take your property. You call that a thief and a murderer. But in the days when we were home, sitting under the trees, without any clothes on, we were quite happy, living exactly the way that God intended for us to live. Nobody wants the clock.
The late great Dr. Sebi, today is the day that he transitioned 10 years ago. This is a serious thing, because 10 years later, we're still going through it. And the brother that I'm about to bring on, not only was raised by, of course, his mother, Annette Thomas, who we call Mama, affectionately called Mama Pill. Of course, his father, his biological father, poet laureate of Harlem, George Tate, but this was his bonus dad, great bonus dad, who I've had the moment, and this is my lecture that I did in 2009, and I still tear up when I see Dr. Sebi speak, because him and I spoke on the phone regularly, especially after this lecture and before this lecture, because I'll tell you a brief story before I bring on KT, and I'm going to, of course, read the brief bio he has. Dr. Sebi came back to New York probably like a couple months before at the Marriott. And Dr. Sebi, thought it was the old paradigm of radio and television, and he didn't do any real street promotions. So we went to this big hall in Marriott, and it was only 12 people that came out to see Dr. Sebi. And I was one of the 12. And there was a few other people, big up to Terry, she was there, and a few other people that I met. And that's when I met Nina, who was his assistant at that time. I know KT probably knows who Nina is. And I said to Nina, I said, look, and Dr. Sebi remembered me from back in the day. He said, I said, Zach, I can help you pack out a venue. Let's talk and let's make. He said, King Simon, go and talk to Nina. Nina handles my business. Boom, 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 boom. Talk to Nina. He said, it's a go. We can get this place. He wrote a check. Nina wrote a check to me to go and get the place, go get the flyers. We was gonna split it. I would get 10% of the whole deal. And that's when we did, and I can show you the flyer for it. That's when we did the big lecture that brought my promotions over the map. That's when we did the Dr. Sebi event at the St. Anthony's Baptist Church on Red Pill and Blue Pill's birthday, actually, in 2009. And that's when Blue Pill launched his CMOS at that time, Seven Heaven CMOS. And this is, if you can see it, you might not, there it is. That's the picture, Dr. Sebi, November 14, 2009. And that was my 14th anniversary in promotion and productions. And Dr. Sebi trusted me, and we had 400 plus people in that venue. And he sold out all of his products. Vendors wasn't happy. We cooked. Brother Polite opened up. I got to say that because he loved Brother Polite. I know he wouldn't love him now for whatever he's going through. He wouldn't respect what he did. But Brother Polite opened. That's the only person he allowed to open up. And if I told you the lineup that was on here, was Leonard Jeffries, African Bambaataa, Amen Ra Sen Atumre was his name, of course, and that was it. And because of something that happened between him and Jeffries back in the day, and whatever Bambaataa, whatever, he was the only person that he allowed. And I had to respect that because we were partnering in this whole thing. And I try to show enough respect to my elders, enough respect. And he let Polite get in, and then he said, wasn't that boy bad? And I said, yes. I said, yes, sir. I said, yes, sir. And again, before I bring on KT, why I even allow Polite to get on that stage is because the person that ran that church, St. Anthony's Baptist Church, is St. Anthony's Baptist Church. It was named Reverend Moon. Reverend Moon was the one who said I should let him open up, and I was still kind of leery. Then I talked to Oba, which was Dr. York's brother, and he was renting out, Polite and his family was renting out a storefront over there on Bedford Avenue. Just telling y'all a brief history of how this all came about to this point that Dr. Sebi wanted that man on stage. And of course, Reverend Moon, who is now, both of them are deceased right now, is transitioned. So this portion of my history, my life as a promoter, this is the book that I wrote, No Promotion, Bad Promotion, pictures and everything is in it, certain accounts and all that's in there. It's been real for me. It's been real. And I always respected the young speakers, and KT is one of the young speakers that I respect immensely because everybody had an opening act. Prince opened up for Rick James. Shabba Ranks opened up for Bobby Brown. Everybody has an opening act. And this young man was raised, and Ma'a said from her very lips that she used to breastfeed him. That's some powerful stuff when you could be amongst us. So KT, I'm getting ready to bring you on with a well-deserved round of applause, and you could talk about Sebi briefly, and then we're going to get what we got to get into. But KT, the Arts Degree, is a powerful advocate for holistic health and transformative energy. Being part of a preeminent family position, Kimani as a public figure within his community and exposed him to holistic healing practices and highly sought after herbal remedies that help patients transition from dependency on prescribed medication. The CEO of Soul Ionic Botanicals, sought after lecturer and biophysicist, physics, and acclaimed for his talent to decipher film symbolism, Kimani stands as a beacon of holistic health. His expertise as an ethnobotanist, nutritionist, and chef guides others back to nature, health, and self-discovery. And without further ado, my family, I want to bring on for you my dear brother, your dear brother, the one, the only, KT, the art degree. Let's give him a well-deserved round of applause as we bring him on. KT, how are you, sir?
Doing well, brother. How are you today, man?
It's been a tearjerker to me because I've been watching, Dr. Sebi and thinking about him while I was on my travel. But you had close counters with him, brother, and the family. And what do you think about 10 years later? What you thinking? What after he passed on? What are you thinking, my brother?
First off, I
Yes,
would
sir.
like to thank you for bringing me on your platform tonight, making a way for me to connect with the people and having this platform for the community. So thank you for
Thank
that.
you, sir.
Give
Thank
you your flowers, of course. And
Thank you.
of course, starting it off with, Dr. Sebi and being able to share this message with everybody is extremely powerful. So thank you for
Yes, sir.
doing that,
Of course.
It's a powerful day. It's like, what do you say when you recognize that time has got to such a speed that we're now at a decade mark from the point in which Sebi has transcended. And before he transcended, I had about 40 years in regards to under my belt and being in his presence or being around him one way or another. And to know it's been 10 years since he has, made his transcendence.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So what touches me the most or hits me the most is just the state of the world today.
Yeah.
And the fact that we can clearly see that Sebi has transcended at this point, because things have gotten just so out of control at this point that we obviously don't have a level of discipline that we once had when we had, his presence around. Though he has been able to touch so many people and also inspire so many people to come up and come forward so that, we have all these avenues now to receive said information. And I'm very grateful for that. We can definitely see that there's still this kind of vacuum in regards to that kind of authentic presence that he carried. Those shoes have not been filled, and all of us, we do our very best to be able to communicate and share and connect with the people. But, he was a tour de force all on his own.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He was, and he's dearly missed, of course. And man, he would just call sometime early in the morning. So, and I know if Mr. G was up here, he would say, "King Simon, that man, brother." He was something else. And I'm interviewing Mr. G on the 19th of this month, and that's gonna be powerful. This is Mr. G will be with us. So that's
look at that picture right there.
Yeah. So the power of the ancestral guidance and health and production and how he produces a lot of Dr. Sebi stuff. So so thank you very much for those words, man, because even when Ma said to me in front of you and all that she breastfed you, man, and that when you hear of another mother, although you came from an original mother, great Annette Thomas, Mama Pill, another mother said she also gave breast to you, and that's a powerful thing for someone. And she's an elder now, and she's going up in their age. Everybody's going up in their age. What do you say about that when people like Ma'a and your mother they commend you for what you're doing and give you that love and show you that love, and they're gonna critique you. You know how it is. You know how women are. They gonna drop it like it's hot.
For sure. It's empowering.
Yeah.
It's motivating. To kind of get that sign off. I was talking to my mother the other day, and we were talking about everything going on with Fauci right now.
Wow.
And she was telling me the story of essentially what led up to the court case.
Yes.
And that essentially you know, she was asked of Sebi to run that ad in the Village Voice, you know, and she went out there to do that, but wasn't successful initially. And she was kind of disappointed in herself that she wasn't able to make that happen.
Yeah.
So instead of kind of like just sitting with that, which, you know, it was a great lesson for me and should be a great lesson with a lot of people, that, you know, just because you put your best foot forward with something and it doesn't work out initially doesn't mean it's not. You know, sometimes it's just testing to see whether or not it's something that you truly want, or to test your resolve and see whether or not you're fully capable of digging deeper to make things happen. So she kind of reset herself, went back to the drawing board. She redid her hair, you know, she lifted herself up and she went back. And when she went back, she got connected with another woman and showed her the ad, and the woman was just like blown away. Like, what are you talking about? AIDS has been cured, diabetes, what are you? Oh, this is fabulous. Who are you? What are y'all? What are you talking about? So my mother just started breaking down to her, you know, who Dr. Sebi was, what the Usha Institute represented, the movement, everything they was able to accomplish, their goals, what they wanted to do. And she was like, what are you talking about? I'm slapping this right here in the pay. We about to run that thing, you know? So she put it down for 12 weeks. So she put it in the paper. And the Village Voice, you know, this is the same periodical that was pumping Fauci big time. You know what I mean? During AIDS, you know, everything dealing with AIDS and HIV, they was always, you know, putting his information and his authority and in that periodical. So it was very ironic, because I guess to the woman who worked there was like, yo, we keep putting out all this information about this disease that has no cure and no one can get healed from it. You know, they just have to manage it through this medication. And here you are in front of me telling me you got proof, you know, that you was able to do that. So she ran the ad, and a week later, my mother said that the woman ended up getting fired. You know, and the woman got fired because the editor in chief who worked for the Village Voice got wind of it, because, you know, people were talking about what was in the paper, and she ended up firing the lady and ended up calling Sebi when he was in Puerto Rico, like, you got to come back up here to New York right now. You know, because you can't just be out here making these fraudulent false claims. And he was like, I'm out here with my family. I ain't about to come nowhere. And you about to breach my contract. That's what I'm talking about. The type of gall that this man had, yo. We missing that in these days. You know what I mean? He would just, I don't care if there was a wall, a boulder, an ocean, he would cross it, he would walk through it. It don't matter. He did not believe in obstacles. It was like obstacles are just a figment of imagination. So you know, it eventually ended up leading to, you know, him coming back, the arrest and everything like that. But it all started with my mother. It's like, it almost didn't happen. If she allowed that first day to really dictate what took place, it would have never led to the court case. So because she went back out there and decided to follow through with it, you know, it ended up leading to like one of the most historical moments, you know, in our culture.
In history, and let me give that a well-deserved round of applause.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hold on 1 second. There's my applause button right there.
For sure.
Got you, because we would never have heard about him. And you know, my mother was a collector of newspapers, and I used to see these newspapers at my mother's house, and around 88 and all of that stuff. At 88, I was in the Ansar law community, just coming out of the Ansar law community, and even later on, Dr. York spoke on him, but I was out of that community by then. But you know, even Dick Gregory spoke highly of a man in Honduras that's curing AIDS. He said it, which is crazy, because then later on he said something else. So it's just so much, you know, so much. It's just the way things go, man. It go from high up, and then it goes low down, then it go high up again, brother. You know, for you to be in the midst, and you know, it's like. Where do you see KT, Kamani Tate, in the next, and your legacy in the next 50 to 100 years? Before we get into it.
Yeah, in the next 50 to 100 years, I see myself in a beautiful, complex, existing in some tropical environment with volcanic soils and groves and orchards and beautiful travertine archways and pathways where people come from near and far to soak in healing waters and eat powerful juices and sit inside healing chambers as we exchange stories and talk about a time where life expectancy was 75. Remember when they used to say we could lead to 75? Look at us now. That's where I see.
We back in biblical years now. We go.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
Why not?
I mean, we did something in the chromosome ended up getting shut down after the flood.
Right.
And we went from 1200 to 120. Then we went from 120 to 75. Now we're in the 50 something range ever since, you know, COVID hit.
Yeah.
You know, and we have to see this kind of reiteration of resets that keep happening where you're talking about, you know, syphilis and Tuskegee experiments and Spanish flu and AIDS. It's like it's always something. And right now, you know, we're dealing with the cyclospora, and we're dealing with the cyclospora kind of as a gateway to I want to regulate what y'all eat. And they want to regulate what we eat because, you know, social media has two sides. Mm-hmm. You know, on one side, it's a dopamine hit that really annihilates our chronobiology and how we connect with the earth and the sun and have timing within inside of our system. But then it also truly connects and all of us throughout the world. And based upon what your algorithm is, whatever frequency you're on will dictate, you know, what you end up seeing on your timeline. So, you know, if you're into nutrition, if you're into exercise, if you're into fitness, if you're into nature, then that's going to be the type of things that you're going to see constantly refreshing on your timeline. And people, you know, we're in the age of Aquarius, and the age of Aquarius is everybody's a master. You know, it's no longer I'm an apprentice. This is the elder. I have to learn under and study under anymore. Now it's everybody's a master. You're a master of none in stupidity or a master of something of great value. That it's all out there. So if people are giving out this sound information and you also have AI to validate and fact check everything, now you're like, okay, I can eat this. I could take this herb. I can get up at this time in the morning and do this blah, 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 blah. So it's like, how do I take that away? Oh, I got to regulate the input. I got to regulate the input. And how I regulate the input is I start manipulating what everybody eats, which has already been done. But before it was like, okay, we're going to put all the chemicals and all of the processed food. We're going to, you know, advertise the fast food, but everything's getting exposed. Right. You know, so people want to eat they want to go to the dark berries because the dark berries have anthocyanins, and anthocyanins are the secondary plant metabolites that exist inside all of the colorful berries as well as the flowers that denote alkalinity and acidity by way of color in engaging with the sun. So I'm going to have this kind of colorful dance, this spectral dance with life by way of these berries. But then it's like, nope, you're taking the berries away because the berries got human feces on, and you're going to have diarrhea and you're going to blow your anus out. We don't want you to eat no lettuce either and get no greens or no chlorophyll or no B vitamins from there either. You're going to blow your rectum out. You know, now it's, oh, I'm gonna induce this fear, and that's always what it's been. It's, I want to enhance and make the priority your sympathetic nervous system, and make sure that you're operating with that nervous system over everything else. Because if I could do that, if I can get you to focus on fear, then, you know, I've already won the war. I've won the battle.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's right. That's right. And you know, fear is the frequency that lowers everything, so we can be accepted of those diseases too, those dis-ease.
Yes.
And that's what we recognize. You know, and that's why Dr. Sebi was a very fearless individual, man. In the moment that everybody else seemed not to be fearless, you know, although people said they were and all that kind of stuff, and we were
Yes.
talking about it too and all that kind of stuff, but he proved himself by even going to jail and even standing up to people, you know what I'm saying, and standing up to the government.
Barefoot in the courtroom.
Barefoot in the courtroom. No, at that time, I forgot the attorney general was what was his name? Abram or something.
Yeah,
like that.
Abrams.
Yeah,
Robert
yeah.
Abrams.
Right. Yeah. Well, he was the attorney general and all that. Yeah, I remember the whole thing, man. And I remember I got even still old paperwork from back in the day. You know, that's in my. I think I probably lost it in that storage when I lost all that in Georgia. But yeah, I had all of that too, and you know, even the stuff that he did at Victoria Theater. Now that we're here again, 10 years later after Dr. Sebi, and of course, 10 years before that, it was another thing, and 10 years before that was another thing. It just keeps on coming around because they keep on trying to catch our attention and lower our energy so we can get these diseases. Does KT think there's another pandemic about to happen?
I mean, yes. It's the war. The war is on a nano scale right now. You know, so it's like they have everybody looking outside of ourselves at nuclear war, and it is, but it's not nuclear in terms of a nuclear weapon. It's nuclear in terms of a nucleus inside of your cell. You know, it's about manipulating that DNA by way of mRNA, which is messenger RNA, which is essentially a flash drive. And they want to upload files inside of you. So, you know, virus, that's what the virus is all about. It's not about some nano small boogeyman particle. No, it's the same as the computer. You know, the same person who introduced viruses on computers, Bill Gates, is the same one that wants to upload viruses with inside of your system. And as much as everybody wants to come down on Fauci, I get it. I understand. I rock with everybody on y'all sentiments and how y'all feel, but let's not lose sight that this is a constant that we keep giving where there's one person that ends up being the fall guy. Come on, man. There's no way that he's responsible single-handedly, you know, for everything that transpired over those 4 to 5 years, and to just constantly jump on his ego. Oh, he wanted to be a celebrity. He wanted to be the most talked about. You think that's what it's about? You think it's about you think it's about one guy wanting to be the most talked about person on the planet? You don't think it has nothing to do with a whole agenda and a group of individuals that are working together, and he just happened to be somebody that was put in a position to execute things? You know, we should have an understanding of that. So as much as they're ridiculing him and sitting them on the seat and everything like that, it's like, okay, that's cool and all, but who was the other players that were around him at the time? Who gave him the green light? You know, who's the people that's in the position now? You know,
to fund it.
Yeah, who funded him? Who gave him the money? Who paid him? Like, follow the dollar. Yeah. So it's all good, you know, because and then what they do is they get us caught up in the emotional thing. So before the argument was, oh man, you took the jab, you didn't take the jab, or y'all making everybody you endangering everybody in the community by not taking the jab, or you're stupid because you took the jab. So they're making us fight, right? So now the argument is, I told y'all shouldn't take the jab. Oh man, I can't believe I took the jab. Now all of y'all took the jab, y'all all messed up. And now that I didn't take the jab, I'm the man. You know, so now that's the new dialogue. While all the while everybody's losing sight of the fact that they pulled another one over on us, and it is part of a consecutive agenda towards an end game eventually still. So it's like, how about we stop pointing blame at each other and saying, oh, this is the constant, right? Because I didn't take it either, but I'm not about to put up the, yeah, so this is the certificate I want to put out to everybody who was able to survive one of the most pressurized tests of all humanity. Salute goes out to you. Right. How about all the people that was duped? Regardless if they acted however they acted when they were duped, right? My thing is, that's your brother, that's your sister, that's your family, that's your people. They were manipulated like you get manipulated. So why now that you have been not why now when you got the proof, you know what I'm saying, that I made the right decision, I made the right choice. If you're on a higher vibration already to be able to make that decision, and why are you dropping back down to a lower vibration to be like, I told you so, nanny nanny poo poo? Like,
right.
all the while they got the jab is now Ozempic.
That part, right.
You know, so now everybody's voluntarily going out and just shooting themselves up with God knows what with inside, you know, their body and everything like that. And even the people that didn't take the jab is taking Ozempic. So it's like one way or another, you are allowing this gene editing software to come inside of your system. And we got warning of that by way of Hollywood through the movies that we got introduced to this year, and one of them being the Odyssey, and the other one being Spider-Man Brand New Day, because in both of them they talk about two parts of an agenda in regards to us as a people. In the Odyssey, we learned about the Trojan horse, where a war that a group of people wanted to engage in, the Greeks of Ithaca wanted to fight with the Trojans, right? Because of some female beef, you know what I'm saying? Helen ended up getting with, left the dude and everything, and he saw Agamemnon's all salty and everything. So he want to go to war with the folks. Okay, cool. Y'all on some who we got? Any one of these reality shows that you want to talk about right now, Hip Hop of Atlanta or whatever, the Housewives of Atlanta or whatever, right? And y'all go for 10 years and can't breach the wall. So y'all like, okay, it's not working. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take the holy word of God and we're gonna break it. We're gonna take Xenian, we're gonna snap it, we're gonna break it. We're gonna take the honor that we have of man to man, of being honest and receiving gift, and we're gonna turn a gift and we're gonna put poison in the gift. So that they lay down their defenses and receive said horse, right? And then once they feel like they got something honorable in a gift, we will come out and we will rape and we will pillage and we will destroy in God's name. So that's one part. So in Brand New Day with Spider-Man is like, he's evolving. As we go into this higher vibrational energy of the earth by way of the frequencies and the downloads and things that are happening with inside of our system, a lot of us are getting scared because of high vibration and headaches and senses and people with ADHD and OCD and the spectrum and thinking that's a problem, but it's really a brain trying to cope with the switching up of all of these timelines in the earth, right? So what Spider-Man does is he creates a technology, right, to to neutralize, to sterilize, right, and to silence that evolution, because I'm scared to embrace what I deem the monster within. And it's only called a monster because that's how society portrays us to be whenever we embrace our inner nature, and that inner nature starts to grow and we become stronger and more divine. Then we get ostracized by society. So I have to be a Frankenstein. I have to be a beast. I have to be a Godzilla or King Kong. So it's a monster. So in Brand New Day, he's making this device to kind of silence this evolution that's going on with inside of him. So we have this Trojan horse, and then we also have this silencing, and that's exactly what this jab and all these technologies are, is in the light of, oh, you don't want to hurt your neighbor. You don't want to hurt your child. You don't want to hurt society. So why don't you take this Trojan horse? And then once the Trojan horse is inside, all of these warriors and these soldiers and stuff starts coming out of this mRNA vaccine inside your body and start raping and pillaging your body and turning the Trojan kingdom into something that they conquered.
Right.
At the same time, silencing and neutralizing the ability to rise, the ability to come up and connect with whatever the next epoch in our evolution is supposed to be.
So family, those that are tuning in, we got our dear brother in the building. Make sure you go to his website, soionicbotanicals.com. He also has a YouTube channel. That's KT, the Arts Degree. Of course, he has an Instagram channel, KT, the Arts Degree. Make sure you support. It's all pinned to the top of the chat, just in case y'all want to just tap right in and go right to us and support the brother, because he has some extraordinary wisdom and knowledge to drop for you while he's doing what he's doing now. This new thing again, they come up with new things probably every 3 to 5 years, probably every 10 years. What is this parasite, and what should we do to avoid it, or just be able to navigate through whatever it's happening out there?
All right, so Cyclospora is a parasite essentially that comes from human feces. So apparently farms and agricultural lands that are downstream from chemical waste from certain plants and companies and structures are utilizing waters that have been contaminated, so to speak, by human waste.
Okay.
So, when we hear fecal matter, we think automatically of, bowel movements, feces, But what is feces? Feces is a collection of bacteria and also the waste of human material within inside our body that we excrete.
Right.
But we don't conceptualize, we don't think that it can also be human waste. It in itself, as when we listen to the hearings with Fauci, he was taking aborted fetuses, the organs, so to speak, of aborted fetuses and tissues of aborted fetuses, and he was superimposing them onto mice. So that the mice were growing fine human baby hair on the backs. And they called these cells BLTs because they said that the mouse and the human cells were sandwiched between each other. So they called it a BLT.
Jeez, really? Wow. BLT like bacon, lettuce, and tomato. McDonald's, like we go.
And proud of it.
And proud of it. Damn, it's crazy.
So parasites are part of a continuum. Right. We separate parasites from fungus, from bacteria, from virus, and we have to understand that they're all connected. The same way when we are gestating within inside of our mother's womb, we go through all of these zodiacal and kind of zoological changes.
Right.
We are all these animals, with lizards and with fish. You know what I'm saying? When you look at the different stages that we're unrecognizable when we're in our mother until we get to a certain duration within inside of the different trimesters, right? Until then, we could be any type of animal, right? And as we go through all of these changes, we have to understand that as is above, so below. In the nanoverse and the microverse, single cell organisms go through changes as well, and we call this pleomorphism. So pleomorphism is a process that it's not discussed a lot, and you don't have to dig too much. But if it's not spoken of, but if you type in pleomorphism and you type in somatid and you type in protit, and you type in these different things, Gunther Enderlein and Gaston Nassines and some of these scientists, you'll find out how much information has existed for over 100 years on the fact that science have come to understand that microorganisms change into others based upon the milieu or the environment that they're in and how you treat said environment. So you can go from a exosome, or rather some type of genetic information that is encapsulated inside of a fatty membrane, and it can turn into bacteria, and that bacteria can evolve into more complex bacteria, and that can become fungi, and that can become parasite. So when you see parasites are kind of the end result of different other microorganisms evolving into a higher state based on the environment we're in. And if we're dealing with a bunch of dead human tissue that have been manipulated by man, who knows what has been conjured up and created within that. And now you're finding these things stuck on the surface of these natural foods that we would normally eat in order to lift ourselves up, is to bring ourselves, back down.
Could this society be tapping into ancient, older diseases from like the dinosaur times and bringing it to the forefront now? Because I know they like to go and do this, and they like to dig and then find some old frozen egg of some mosquito or something like that and bring it back to the. I mean, I know it sounds like television, family. I'm sorry, but this is what they're very inquisitive. I gotta give white people and Europeans a tap on the shoulder. They're very inquisitive. They like to find out things. Some of us might not study as much, and we don't have the resources to go to Antarctic to find out what the heck is going on over there, and what are some of the life that they can dig up to see if they had any diseases that why to destroy the earth at certain period of time or destroy the surface of the earth. Could they be doing this? Could they be looking for things just to throw out there nowadays?
Well, what I would say is that there's nothing older than our own genomes. We have our own genetic genome of our nuclear DNA. We have a virome of the viruses in our body. We have a microme, you know what I mean, of all of the myco and the fungi. There's a compendium of, or hard drive of genetic information of every level of microbe within inside of us. Right. So they just have to keep pulling things out of the human body, playing with them, and putting that stuff out there. So it's really just a repackaging of the same thing over and over and over again. Similarly, when you look at like fast food chains, and when they know you're not buying the chicken like you used to, then they're like, okay, let's chop the chicken up and put it on mashed potatoes with this sauce. Right. Let's take the chicken and wrap it in a tortilla wrap and fry it now with this dipping sauce. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's the same ingredients. You know what I'm saying? They're just switching up the presentation, every single time.
And now, we family. My brother wants to talk about the updates and the new developments coming on with this. Do you have a presentation you want to deal with?
Well, I had a presentation that I was going to share when we, and once again, I apologize to everybody about Monday, but once I come to realize that we were dealing with Sebi coming up, and then also speaking about, Fauci and everything like that, I was like, that might not be that necessary, because as I'm speaking to you now, it's just kind of the repackaging of the same thing. Right. When we're dealing with the active component of all this information coming out in regards to Fauci being interrogated, and how people need to respond, because, that's essentially what the jab was. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it was a collection of parasites, and we know this. It was like a mixture of graphene oxide parasites as well as animal venoms. And we know this because one of the main pharmaceuticals, so to speak, that people were actually benefiting from at the time that they were like shutting down and taking off the market was ivermectin.
Mm-hmm.
And ivermectin is a horse medication for worms, deworming horses, you know.
Right.
So
you showed that at Brother Rich's show. You showed that.
I mentioned it.
Yeah, because I took a picture. I think you had no, I looked it up, and when you
So they shut that whole thing down. So it's like, why is ivermectin so beneficial to people when you're dealing with this this virus that doesn't have any type of cure and there's no way to fix? I mean, it's the same narrative as AIDS, you know. And even when you look into the research and the study of the coronavirus, and you look at a lot of the lab history, it follows the same trajectory as when they were messing around in the lab with HIV back in the 80s. You know, I think it's called SPV 40, which is the simian. They call it the simian virus. It's, you know, it's always connected to some monkeys one way or another, right? But what we find here is that, once again, they're just repackaging something. So we have to look at this from a parasite standpoint. And that's something my mother brings this up often, the movie Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yes.
Which was an insane movie from back in the day. Classic, yes, where, you know, you spent 50 years with somebody. You know them. It could be family, it could be a loved one, it could be your mate. It could be a child. It could be your mama, your daddy.
That's right.
And they end up getting possessed by this alien entity, and they're no longer that person.
Yep.
Because that parasite has taken over their system to such a degree that they have disassociated with their identity and have become something totally different. And the only way for you to preserve yourself is to unalive them.
That was it.
And it was just cold-blooded. So we have to think about these parasites like that. Like, if we're dealing with the average parasite every day that we're getting out through, you know, and look at the foods that they're saying the cyclosporins, like cilantro. It's like cilantro is one of the best parasite / heavy metal greens that you can take into your body and put into your diet. But now it's like, oh, don't eat that because it's covered with this sticky surface of this cyclospora.
Right.
You know, so we have to become a little bit more conscious about, all right, how do I go about removing these parasites from my body? You know, things like duck flour, which, you know, Sebi would provide that at Usha immediately. The minute you came down there, you ain't coming down here, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, tearing up my village. Eat one of these.
Take this.
You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to Mr. G and his Geefy tea, because that was another thing Sebi would hit you with. Hey, before you come up in these gates, let me see if you human. Take a swig of this real quick. You know what I mean? So you start flipping and your head starts spinning around. You start walking upside down like the bridge, like the Exorcist and stuff up the ceiling. He like, I knew you.
We got you. We got him.
You know?
Now, that's, you know, my aunt one time told me that when he passed on, you know, transition, she said she had a dream about him, and that's why she came up with another product. Have you dreamt about it yet?
Yeah, I've had dreams of him for sure. They've been very abstract, you know, him like just observing, you know, or him kind of in his natural state. And I actually did an animation of it as of recently, because I do a series called The Melanite.
Yes.
Where I created a superhero who he dropped Nessuit nectar honey in his eye, and it brought him a certain level of awareness where the melanin that was like deep inside of him, connected to the source, came to the surface and encapsulated him into this suit.
Yes.
It's like a blend of Ant-Man, Spider-Man, and the Black Panther, kind of blended all together.
Right.
With the theme of like the Fantastic Voyage and Osmosis Jones. So he, you know, he goes inside the body to heal himself. But one of the episodes, he was dreaming and he saw beautiful forest. And as the forest opened up, it was this wonderful emerald golden structure that was like shaped like mushrooms.
Yes.
And then he went inside, and it was these tall ceilings and these huge open spaces with plants and fountains and all this stuff. And he was in this this courtyard, and all of a sudden you see these feet walking, and the camera pans up, and it's Sebi. And similar to how Dr. Strange would make the mandalas, he made a mandala of the heme of hemoglobin. And he pushed it on to him, and then he just woke up from the dream. So it'd be stuff like that. So I animated it, you know what I mean?
Right.
You see it in real time,
Right.
the type of experiences that I have, because sometimes in expressing it and explaining it verbally, it might, go right past somebody.
Yeah, because you make people visualize it, and that's the quality of a number 3, as a matter of fact. So they got
communication, right?
Communication and expanding your thought patterns just by what you want to express. That's very important, and that's very important.
That's 3.
In this moment with Dr. Sebi, what would you think Dr. Sebi would be focusing on, especially with young people that might just want to grab things and eat things, and people that have compromised immune systems? What would you say to those people out there that might have compromised immune system, and then children that might just eat anything and want to eat everything, even outside, and young teenagers that might just go out and eat anything on their own and then develop something or catch something, especially a parasite that's being repackaged and put out there? What would you suggest that they do as far as a solution to cleanse it out or remove it, or what should they do?
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, duck flour is
one of them.
Is exceptional, because it is a 6-month detox done in 6 hours. It's very violent. You know what I mean? You got stuff coming out of every orifice of your body, consistently for 4 to 6 hours. When you're done, you feel unbelievable, and everything comes out. Nothing stays behind. Right. But then we have things that grow all around us, stuff like the black walnut tree. Black walnut tree grows all up and down the East Coast, even into the South, all the way to like Texas. It has these pinnate leaves and serrated edges, and these green balls that hang from it, and they're very fragrant, almost like bergamot or something citrus. Right. But the hull of that green, it turns black, and it produces something called juglone. And juglone is a very powerful anti-parasitic and a vermifuge, that helps to rid the body of things. Episode is another one that you find in a lot of the Mexican bodegas, that assists with ridding the body of parasites. You have star anise, you have clove, you have oregano oil. These are all things that grow and are all around us, that is very easy to come by, that we could be incorporating inside of our system. And then it's the light dance as well. So making sure that your circadian rhythm is on point, you get in your sunlight, you're grounding, you keeping that charge extremely high. These parasites are not able to live in a certain type of environment. So I say we would talk about keeping the body extremely oxygenated, very high iron levels, because that's part of what the 5G is for, and the parasites are for. Parasites, they go after heavy metals, and they are responsible for going after your ferritin stores. Ferritin is like iron banks in your body. So you got the iron that is connected to your blood, that flows through the system, that binds oxygen and everything, and brings the oxygen to the cells, oxygenated cells. But then you also have it in a bank form, like the oxygen that's on the cells is similar to you having like your debit card and be able to go to all these different stores and buy the things you need and make those exchanges. But your money's kept in the bank, or it's kept inside of, your bank at home, under your mattress, whatever like that. And that's what ferritin is, all these stores of iron that you have inside your body, and it goes after that, and it takes all of that ferritin. So now you don't have these iron stores no more, and you start depleting iron. Now you become hypoxic, and you don't get enough oxygen, and that becomes, a huge problem in your system and your metabolism.
Mm, mm. And someone just asked a question, if you don't mind. What's the difference between fungi and parasite?
Well, a fungus is mushroom based, it's fungal, it's definitely still within inside the cycle of pleomorphism. Parasites would come after that. And this is how too, most people have heard that we have more biologically in common with a mushroom than we do with plants.
Yes,
Mushrooms are actually the bridge into the animal kingdom. Actually, they breathe in oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide just like us. You know what I'm saying? They're not like with plants, where plants, we have this reciprocal relationship. Mushrooms, we actually have the same gas exchange. So it would make sense that, we would deal with mushrooms before we would get into the actual complex animal form of things, which is, what happens when you get into parasites. Parasites are essentially worms. These are just microscopic monsters. These are things that know how to sidestep your metabolism and all of your security measures that you have in your body. They know how to offset and sidestep those things. And when we see this explosion of cancers by way of growths inside the body, a lot of those are flesh that have encapsulated egg sacs of these parasites. And they're growing because the egg amount are growing, and it's still feeding off of your body. And once those things hatch, they're able to just go crazy with inside the system.
Okay. Yes. I hope that answered the question. Big up to Abundance Child in the chat. What's up, Abundance?
Oh, wow. Peace, Queen. How are you?
Everybody. She's Cindy also is in the chat. Empress Cindy. With what else is going on with a lot of people, a lot of mental strain is going on due to what they're casting out there in the media. Yes. Movies and also music, as we could say. And I always tell people it begins with the 4 M's. I mean, the 3 M's. And M is a 13 letter in the alphabet, and that's a 4. And 4 is one of the mental health numbers in my book, Numerovation for Mental Stability. As a matter of fact, 4 can be a number of unaliving yourself if you don't discipline your mind and stay focused. So when they're putting things in the music, media, and movies that can disrupt your mentality or your mind and make it unstable, that can be a problem. So you got to be able to protect yourself. And according to MIT studies back in the day, KT, they used to say that it takes 16 positive to knock out 1 negative. So you got to constantly bombard your mind with positive to offset the negative. You know what I'm saying? So these things that are happening in our society and in our community with these diseases and these parasites, what would you suggest people do to maintain their mind? I know grounding and going outside, but what else would you suggest from a holistic? Because Dr. Sebi used to say healers need healing also. And he needs healing. So what would you say that they need to do to maintain their mind, not just consuming and how they eat and all that? How would you, KT, maintain his mind to help?
So we have a very sacred molecule that we create with inside of our brain, and it's called POMC, POMC. And POMC is pro-opiomelanocortin. And if you listen to it, you hear opio in there, like opioids. You hear melano in there, like melanin, right? Like melanocyte. And this is essentially what this molecule is. It gets cleaved into about 13 or 14 separate molecules. Some of the molecules are endorphins. Some of the molecules are opioids. Some of the molecules are like cannabinoids. And some of the molecules are melanin, melanocyte stimulating hormones, which are essentially molecules that are activating the production of melanin inside of the body, MSH, gamma, alpha, beta, MSH. This molecule is connected to the seasons and solar exposure. So I know that, when I get some cabin fever, because I'll find myself inside, more often than being outside days on end, because, I'm working, I'm getting things done and stuff like that. I got to, and I have intentions to get out. I got intentions to do this. I got intentions to do that. But you see how this time been going, Simon,
Yeah,
right?
man.
It's just like, it ain't nothing like the 90s, right? Nothing
Nah,
like the 80s.
nah.
So you'll find these days just evading you, and before you know it, you find yourself your home. And I find that the more that I'm inside and home, the more issues and problems end up ensuing. So the minute that I come out and I go in the park,
Yes.
on a hike, in the grass,
Yes.
in the sun,
Yes.
I find out whatever that feeling I had on me, whatever that energy that was on me, it's automatically gone. There's no pill prescription that's better than being in nature. It's just not. So what would Sebi say? He would talk about butt naked mama in the rainforest, right? Butt naked mama. Mama was in the rainforest. Mama didn't have no clothes. You know what I mean? So he's telling you, he's like, yo, be butt naked and be in nature. Butt naked meaning what? Not just like vulnerability and like mentally being naked and open and everything like that, but also exposing your skin. You need to show your skin to nature. You know, when we how do we know man fell? What is the phrase that taught us that man had fallen in the Bible? What did Adam and Eve say in Eden? I'm naked. Right? So what were they before that? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's called being naked.
Right.
Why? Because there's a connotation of embarrassment or something wrong attached to it. Because they already were in the garden with no clothes on.
Exactly.
But for some reason, after the apple and everything, then it was like, I'm naked.
They realized it. Yeah.
So it was told to us, you know, if we're going to be in, you know, the most purest state, we have to make sure that our body is connected and exposed with nature. We can't think about, oh, I'm naked. We have to think about that I'm in the garden, you know. So Sebi spoke on that all the time. You know, his brother was a preacher, so that was his way of speaking the word without it coming off like, oh, I'm religious. He would be able to offset it on his brother. But to say that he did not find value in the Bible, you know what I'm saying? That's not true. He obviously found so much value in the Bible, and he found his ways of being able to communicate that to us, you know. And it's an amazing word, you know, when you take the time and really try to interpret it properly. But it lets us know, you know, you can read all the Bible you want, or you could just like go back to the garden, you know what I'm saying, in Genesis, and it kind of tells you everything right there to be on, you know. And when you're outside and you're connected, grounding is one component of the connection. It's, oh, if I don't have no shoes and socks on, which is part of the naked part, then my feet is connected to the ground. Yes. So now I can pull up all of those negative ions into my body and make sure my blood pressure is not high. I don't have Romulo in my blood cells. They're not all sticky. They're flowing properly. The exclusion zone easy layers that exist in my capillaries are going to allow my blood to flow properly with inside my system, because the soles of my feet are connected to the ground. Oh, wow. My skin is exposed to the sun. Now the layer underneath my skin, my subcutaneous fat that contains cholesterol, can now be converted and sulfated into vitamin D3 in my body. Oh, wow. My immune system is now super strong, because now I'm building all these vitamin D receptors in my body. And because of the vitamin D that I'm getting in, and I'm able to deal with any onset that might be adverse to my health. Okay. Oh, my eyes, my pupils, look at that. Oh, I can take in all of the color, temperature, and the spectrum of the sun. It can hit my suprachiasmatic nucleus and all the parts of my brain and tune and time all the hormones in my body to properly secrete the things that I need. Oh, that feels so good. You know, these are the things that we experience when our body becomes exposed. And then on top of that, oh, I'm in nature. What's that? What's that smell? Oh, that's the terpenes. Those are the volatile oils that between the heat that is created from the sun in the atmosphere and you heating up, it is now in the air. It's hitting my olfactory bulbs. It's now connecting like keys into my body, stabilizing my metabolism, becoming an anti-anxiolytic. So I'm no longer anxious and feeling anxiety, and I'm calm and my thoughts are sound. And now I find peace. So now I can hear the word of God more effectively.
Powerful, brother. That's right. That's right.
So these are the things. And that was no recipe to no herbal formula.
Nothing that, yep.
That was no whip your visa out and get this particular product on my site. That didn't take no consultation. I'm hearing about. That's free.
That's free. That's right.
It's all free. Health and wellness is a free thing. The only reason why you support me and other people in the community is because, like anything else, why do you pay for a hotel? It's convenience. You know what I'm saying? It's hospitality. If you don't feel like doing it and you might not have all of the information, then I'll provide some information and I'll do it for you. And with that, there's a cost. But you don't have to invest in me. You can invest in yourself.
That's right. That's right. That KT is in the building. I know we had 12 minutes after 10, but I want to play a little clip from Dr. Sebi, and we can talk about it real quick. And then I'm not going to keep you too long, I know, but this is 10 years since he's been.
Oh no, I'm here, brother. No rush.
Yeah, 10 years he's been gone, man, and Baba is still very, very potent and very strong, and his voice is still very penetrable. It still speaks volumes to even the haters. It still speaks volume because people are really discovering him. The people, the Yakis of the world, and all of them are discovered. Abundance Child had personal conversations with her why she even started Dark Sky Kitchen.
That's right.
One of the reasons why she did it. So let's because she was also here in 2009 when we did it at this church also. But let me play this part real quick.
Yeah.
For the journey, so Dr. Sebi came and he put a list together how to avoid certain things, what not to do, because we are sick. He knows it because he's the sickest. But I am standing before you as a healer, something I didn't want to be. Because I'm loud, verbose, I'm vulgar, I'm loose, I'm all of that. But I could cure AIDS. I'm not serious because I don't know what seriousness has to do with understanding. I'm not serious. My brother was serious. He told my mama that I wasn't serious. I told my mama he's right. Because every time I intend to get serious, a stupid laughter smile come over my face. But I want to be serious like him. But I want my brother to tell me what are the virtues of seriousness. I never knew. So brother laid on me. I want to be serious now because it's important to be serious. Oh, I forgot about something. Men are serious, and I'm not a man. I'm a male, and that's all I am and will always be. I don't know what it is to be a man, because I don't know. I don't know what a man is. I know by gender, I'm a male, right? Well, just take it further now. Besides being a male gender, I'm a man. What made me a man? I don't know. I'm not a man. I'm not even spiritual. I don't even have a mind because I don't know what these things are. And I can't tell you that I am that when I don't know what they are. But I devoted my life to you. You, especially Black America. You were the one that prepared me to talk to you because I'd never been to school. The very language I speak, when I came to this country from Honduras, I didn't speak it. You showed me. You prepared me. And I'm grateful to you.
And that part is very important because what he just said, KT, was about him coming to Black America.
Mhm.
You know, him part of being, you know, not considered what they might call FBA and ADOS and all that kind of stuff that they throwing around. But Dr. Sebi wasn't biased. He would give healing or give information to everybody, from the Jewish people that came to his compound to the Asian people, because he told us personally in this lecture that the Japanese came to offer him $50 million in this lecture.
Mm-hmm.
And the full lecture is not on there. I only got 2 pieces on it on YouTube on my channel. He said it at our lecture that they came and offered, and he said no, and he was adamant about that. And he was standing strong, all 10 toes and 5 and 10 fingers down. Because the 10 fingers, he's always in the dirt. He's always there finding out what was real, what was not. And I think people don't realize that alliances is very important to make with the whole diaspora, but also we got to filter out the coons, because there are coons all over the world. Mm-hmm. That is the truth. And there's coons that's holding healing back from other people. There's coons, whether they're white coons or black coons, or they're coons that's holding back information. And it's all right. You know, and I even talked to Dr. Ali yesterday. He was on my show, and he said, you know, everybody loved Dr. Sebi. It's just that everybody have the right to critique. And yes, everybody have the right to critique, because a real scientist is always going to look for the new information. And if it's valid and if it's there, we move with it. Even you have created new things that Dr. Sebi might say, okay, that was good, KT, all right. And they have to agree with you because it works. And it's all, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So KT, in what Dr. Sebi just said, as far as, you know, helping Black America, but all of the melanated people around the world, how can melanated people, not just here, but in the Caribbean, but all over the world, find healing through what Sebi has taught, what you are teaching, what Yaki is teaching, and what Dr. Africa has taught, and Queen of Four is still teaching? How can they find healing and get rid of a lot of the madness that's been distracting them and pulling them down, even if it's just a very few of us? From your perspective, how can we find healing? Because everybody needs healing, like Dr. Sebi would say. All of us need.
So what I would say is that we have a very interesting perspective that we share in humanity. And that is that we look at space in between us as something negative, like negative space. Like I'm here and you're there, so there's all this space between us, right?
Right.
And I learned this from my brother Dice. You know, he blew my mind when he made me think about it. But he was like, "It's the space that binds us." It's like we see it as distance, but it's actually the glue that puts us together. If it wasn't, then they wouldn't spend so much money creating smart dust with inside the air to electrify it, to create conduits between us. If space didn't represent a medium, this is why they had to get rid of ether. Because it's like, if ether exists, then that means that there's some type of medium that everything pushes off of, that becomes the environment for all fields in order to be created. So what I'm saying is we're all bound by the space and the distance, which means that people in the Caribbean, okay, you have Starkey Tafita Jamaican sense and y'all call that blue vervain, but you also call it porterweed. I'm in the States. There's a blue vervain here too. That don't mean my blue vein better than yours and your blue vein is better than mine. It just means, like, guess what? We are still connected by the space between us, and that knowledge and that information we should be able to share and use in order to make ourselves better. Asians are all the way on the other side of the planet. They've been rocking TCM for centuries. Mm-hmm. And Sebi had his issues with that, you know.
Right.
But there are many herbs within traditional Chinese medicine that are profound and sound, and not just good for them, good for us too.
Yeah.
And some of the herbs that they have over there, we have cousins of them on this side, and in having an understanding of how they get down, we can get a better understanding of what goes on over here.
Mm. Right. Right.
So it's about, like you said, it takes 16 things. It's about us finding out what is the common denominator that unites us. We all got two eyes, we got a nose, we got a mouth, two ears, we got belly buttons.
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing how all of us have this same appearance, but yet we be so different at the same time. And the only thing we have to do is literally look at each other and be like, yo, you're me and I'm you. You my brother. You're my sister. Look at that. Okay, your complexion is different. Your hair is different. You know what I'm saying? But a jaguar isn't a tiger and a gazelle isn't a deer. But you can still see the similarities between those classes. But at the same time, you can see differences in the phenotype based on the environment that they're in. So you just respect the fact that, oh, I'm in a temperate region, you're in a tropical region, I'm in an Arctic region, you're in a desert region, I'm in a mountainous region, I'm in a valley region, oh, I'm by the ocean. These are going to make certain subtle shifts and changes, but they don't take away from the common denominator, which is the space that connects us all.
That's right. And Sebi said in that clip about not, acknowledging what spirit, what's this, what's that. He was such a child.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept that child persona because, I heard Les Brown say this years ago, my fellow Aquarian. He says, think like a child, work like an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Always be curious.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a child that came to him and said, you don't know what spirit is. I remember that lecture. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, a little girl told him, and he said, he had to say, you're right. I don't know what spirit is. So all these things that we don't really know, they're just words that was taught to us over the years to accept. You look in the dictionary, spirit means breath.
Right.
Their spirit? Okay, breath and spirit.
And look at how it comes full circle.
How it comes full circle.
That is the thing that binds us all. Because you can fast years without food and weeks without water, but you ain't going long without that pneumatic. No. You ain't going long without that breath.
No.
And the breath that I'm breathing out, don't get me wrong, when I go home to St. Croix, the air quality is different. Quality can change. I'm not.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
To the facts. But the fact remains, we're all breathing air up in here. It's all about that oxygen nitrogen ratio and everything. We're all exchanging that same stuff.
Right. Family, are you willing to take a few calls before we get off?
Yeah, sure.
Look, my phone lines is working nice. I got a new phone line.
Hey.
718-210.
That's throwback. Call me now.
Call me now. 718. Big up to her Leo self. 718-210-8853. If you want to call in or just put a question in the chat, that's all right. But if you want to call in, you don't have to come in on the live on video, but you can call in and talk to us and ask us a question, myself included. You can ask me a question if you want. Of course, before we get out of here, we're gonna play some of Sebi's clip before I get out of here with him anyway. But if you want to call in on my new phone line, please call me at 718-210-8853. That means you can stay in the dark, sleeping, laying down in your bed, and call and talk and ask KT a question. That's 718-210-8853. I have millions of questions in my head. I'm radio trained from back in the day, so it is what it is. So 718-210-8853. KT, anything you're promoting on your website? Anything new? What you want to talk about before anybody?
You able to share screen, right?
Yeah. Of course, if you want to share screen.
Yeah. Let me. Where is it? I would like to. I would like to play. 1 second. Yeah, there we go.
So send it to
Okay,
me.
yeah, if I could share the screen, I'll show this real quick. What do I need to?
You need to press share screen on
there
your.
it is.
On
I see it. I
right.
got it now.
It'll come up on my side. Okay, there it goes. I see it.
You see it?
Bang! There it goes.
Let's see.
Let me take down that number.
All right, you can see the full screen, right?
Yeah, I can see the full screen. Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Wow. Yes, sir. And that, I'm gonna go and tell them what that was, please. I know it's self-explanatory, but please.
Yeah, so another thing Sebi spoke on a lot, and I know you probably have the video of this too, was the difference between real honey and fake honey.
Yeah, I've seen it before. Yeah,
so a lot of us came up eating a lot of fake honey. And I know people would be like, what you mean? But it's like, it's the same thing with bread. You go over to the UK, a lot of people that got like gluten intolerance, they can go over there, they can eat bread all day long, because there's a different type of bread and wheat process that they go through to create the bread over there. And, of course, Sebi said no wheat, you know what I'm saying? But yet and still, you'd still be able to digest it a lot better than the stuff you having over here. And that's because of a lot of the manipulations that went on. So Apis mellifera, which is the Apis meaning bull, ironically enough, cow, right? This honeybee is a manipulated honeybee to the same way that they clone cows to create milk. They did the bee to get the honey out of, because honey is just this kind of, you have this small organism that's able to produce this amazing substance. And if I'm able to put it under the knife, you know what I mean? I could get it to just pump that stuff out. And we know how addictive sweeteners and sugar and everything like that is. So the same way that they push the sugar crystal, they're able to push the honey. But in doing that, they left out a huge part of the nutritional properties that honey represents. And honey is like a complete bioplasmic substance, based upon all of the flowers and the fauna of the earth that the bees are hand picking on their own and fusing on their own to create a perpetual species with themselves, and also sharing with us so that we can keep our body and our system together. So the stingless bees from the tropical belt of this of the world that we're in produce a very medicinal, potent, powerful honey that I call Nesu nectar. And the video that you saw was just a video of what we would call not Hunabku, but Kab, which is the descending god, right? Because essentially bees were created by Ra. They're Ra's tears. So honey is a byproduct of the tears of Ra. And the tears aren't sad tears, they're tears of joy of humanity, just being so welled up with the pride and the joy of seeing humanity flourish, and the creation that God made. He tearing and he crying, and those tears formed into bees, and those bees, the yield. Just think about that for a second.
Right.
God is in full happiness and joy of his creation of humanity, so he cries bees. And the active principle of those tears is to produce honey. So what is honey then?
Tears.
You see what I'm saying? Honey is the active component or production of the active component of what those tears are. So that's what this honey is. I showed that big jug because when I was on Riches, I talked about the 5 vessels in surplus that I had. I only got 1 left.
Wow.
So if anybody is interested in getting that last one, they can email us and say, you saw the show and you're interested in that
This
final.
one right here. This one right here.
That's it. That's the big boy.
What is that going for? You can't talk about that right now. You can't say that.
Yeah.
You got
various
price on
there. But I tell you this, I definitely had a price over a year ago when I went on Rich and
I remember
we were doing the business opportunity, but this one is about over 2/3 less than what that was because, like I said, this was a surplus, so we pretty much giving it away almost compared to what the other price was. So, 4 of them, we had 5, 4 of them are gone. We got 1 left. And if anybody wants to cop that, you might have a business, you might have a cosmetic business, or you might just want to stock it up for the home because honey's the one food on the planet that never goes bad. So that's what that commercial was that I created right there.
I'll have to call you offline and see how much this is.
Simon been trying to get a biggie for a while. I remember when me and Mr. G did that interview, and you was like, "Hold on, let me get that back there. What you got back there?"
I love that, honey, man. I still got some. Brother, Mr. G gave me some the other day. So I love that. But that big thing, I don't know if I'll do a business out of it. It will have to be staying home.
Yeah, and one of the most powerful aspects of this honey, it correlates exactly what we're talking about. One of it is it's definitely a parasite cleanse, but it's a genetic preserver, as well as you have something called wild type genes. Wild type genes are genes that are back in its original state. So why is that necessary? Because when you deal with mutations and you deal with somebody constantly trying to change you through gene editing, see, the body's very intelligent. It kind of keeps a shadow of itself preserved. It's just that it becomes inaccessible through the gene editing. And what Stingless Bee honey does is it's able to bring your body back and access them wild type genes so you can start expressing those original genes again and push that gene editing out and go back to that original source. It's Ra's tears. So honey is like a connection with the source. I mean, how many times was honey mentioned in the Bible?
Yeah, I mean,
right now, the milk and honey is everywhere.
They be in heaven.
Yes.
Dr. Sebi used to speak about urine therapy.
For sure, because the urine contains one of the highest concentration of stem cells inside of our body. See, we think even our waste, because even in human waste goes into the earth and you yield crops and produce for seasons to come. Mushrooms grow out of it, right? Then you got your urine ends up having all of these medicines. It's like an apothecary within inside of that urine. Everything that we secrete from our body and we excrete from our body is something beneficial and of benefit to us because we're made in the image of. So whatever's growing in us, especially if we're taking care of ourselves, is going to be just as divine.
KT, when you started really honing in on this honey, man, people paid attention, and one person called me and said, "Don't you put that sugar in your eyes?" I'm like, sugar. What do you say to that? Because people think all of it is, they say it's sugar. Different people say
it's the sugar in your eyes. What does DNA stand for?
What DNA?
Yeah. Huh? What is it an acronym of? What's the full word?
That, believe me pronouncing that right now is that, but I know, but you can go ahead.
I got you. Deoxy. Ribo.
Right.
Nucleic acid, right?
Right.
So deoxyribose is a sugar. So there's already sugar in your eye, brother. This be the stuff. You know what I'm saying? This be the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, somebody called me on that, and I
The
said, "Okay, I
DNA
got
backbone is phosphorus and sugar. It's ribose. You know what
right,
I'm saying? Our body is made up of it. The first food that we have is galactose, sugar from the mother. You know,
yeah,
when you eat sea moss, what is sea moss? Sea moss is carrageenan. Carrageenan is galactans. Galactans are units and chains of sugar, galactose sugar with minerals attached, potassium, phosphorus, sulfur connected to it. You know, so to say don't put that sugar in your eye, it's like,
obviously,
okay,
yeah,
I understand if you're talking about like domino
right,
sugar in my
you're
eye,
right,
like
or the
that.
other honeys, the other crazy honeys
Yeah,
that
be a
are,
little bit more specific with me, you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
because the trehallulose, which is the rarest sugar on the planet, is what makes stingless bee honey so special.
right,
You don't find that honey anywhere else. There's a couple of nymph insects. These just some
mm-hmm.
little green insects. They look like grasshoppers, but they
Yeah,
mad small.
it's
You see
small,
them on the nodes of plants in the branches. They create them from sucking on the nectar and stuff of some of these plants. They produce small quantities of it.
mm-hmm.
But besides that, you don't find trehallulose anywhere in this concentration and this number. So it's one of the best sugars to get inside your body. And sugar is not our downfall. Sugar is necessary with inside of our health and our system. It's just that when you isolate sugar into a processed form,
It is.
that's when you start having issues and problems, you know?
That is. See, and you know, I know you would be able to explain it, but I did watch one of your videos and guided them to your video to watch so they can have
Don't
a
you
whole.
put that sugar in your eye.
And it was another holistic practitioner. To remain nameless. I'm not gonna say it, but everybody don't understand the honey. You know, you could people promoting Manushka honey before. You know that.
Yeah, and it's like, and that's the thing. It's like when you see debates
Right,
and
right,
issues between you know, different platforms. I understand that camaraderie and iron sharpen iron, but it's like when you start seeing WrestleMania amongst
yes,
the health speakers, that's the most confusing thing in the world, because it's like,
yes,
oh, ain't you the health guy though? Why are you hating? What's the beef? Why is there arguing going on? Shouldn't you be well balanced and attuned? You know what I'm saying? So it's
right.
like if anybody is able to come together and be unified, we should be able to do that. But for some reason, you know, we
Right,
hold on to our, you know, what we got to say like a Bible. And
right.
my thing is, just like Sebi constantly would retire certain information when he would find new information out.
Yeah, that's right.
At one point in time, he was for soy
That's right.
until I got constipated as a child.
Really,
Yeah, I'm the reason of the soy turn.
the term.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. They was giving me soy when I was a baby. I was flying on the little planes with him and my mom, and I started like hollering and screaming, like
Mm.
my inner ear and stuff. And
Yeah, that joint. I used
that's
to
what
hurt
he
me
gave me
when I
that
was young.
shroom. That's the
Oh,
first shroom I got. So he gave me the shroom, and I like laid an egg. And my bowels came out as a white ball, and it was just all soy.
it was soy.
And he was
Wow.
like, "Oh, nah, that ain't good." And that's when he started at, you know, I guess doing his getting his research or noticing certain things. And he was like, "Nah, we don't need to eat that no more."
Man, I mean, yeah, I mean, you got to be able to study your environment and the people around you, and look what happened. I mean, that's deep. I didn't even know that story. Now this is the first time you're telling that story.
Yeah,
Though.
I am the enemy of the soy boy. I prevent all the soy boys from coming in the
That
food.
is so funny.
You know what I'm saying?
Whoa, that is so that's deep, KT. I didn't
Hey
know
man, you
that.
know, I'm part of
What it
I'm
was.
part of a real deep story. And I be real like humble about it. But when I do hear the stories and I sit and I think, I'd be like, yo, I could have been born to anybody. I could have been part of any story. I'm like, yo, I was right there
That's right.
the whole time.
Whole time.
And I know I'm not his biological son. And
Right.
I'm like, I'm good with that because I needed to be. I needed to be outside and away of the family so that I can like observe, get everything I needed, continue and get to this point unscathed.
As a child, and again, are we going over most of 11 o'clock? But as a child, what was it that you recognized in what the adults was doing that intrigued you, or were you just still playing? I know you and Sasai used to play in the sandbox together when y'all was children. Y'all the same age. Y'all born in the same month. Y'all born under that number 3 energy.
Yeah. He's a 30 and I'm a 3.
You're 3. Yeah. So what was it that caught your ears at certain pivotal moments as a child? Maybe in your teenage years, maybe as a child. What caught your ear with the health and everything that was going on in the family?
It was the fact that I was allowed to be a child. I got to experience what it was like to be in a pure childhood, given its nutrients, being in a proper environment, being poured into, being in community. These are my humble and early beginnings. So a lot of that that got preserved as I got older and started getting rocked and knocked upside the head, by the way this world is. God was very kind to me. Even though it's so funny because I came in here mad bloody because my mom hemorrhaged having me. So I came in here covered in blood and getting kicked out the hospital and my mom almost dying and everything like that happened.
Wow.
But right after that iron tonic came into effect, it was pure bliss. And I spent a lot of my childhood dealing with shrooms. So it was just happiness. I was just a great, happy child. And I find that I'm my best self when I'm able to return to that state. It gets difficult as you get older, because sometimes you'll find yourself in that childlike state, but the world and the environment doesn't allow you to continue. It reminds you, you're an adult. You know what I'm saying? You got things to do.
Right.
Get serious. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you have to like snap out of it, but you come to realize that you're really snapping out of that, coming back to your child. You know what I'm saying?
Powerful.
Snapping out of that to come back to the child.
That is so powerful, yeah. And that you recall what you just, and then you recall this too. And I love how Abundance Child is treating her grandchildren. And even when I'm around my grandchildren, I get down and become them. I like to be right there. There's time to play and there's a time not to play. But when it's time to go back to be adult, I leave them alone and let them do what they do. But we get down and I get down right there to the floor because I'm a roller. I'm still into martial arts. I can still climb trees. I'm doing my thing. Till my oldest grandson said, Hey, Tef, I'm 15 and I'm 5'8". I'm like, what? You 5 what? 5'8".
Right.
Where the time going? 15, and you're taller than me. I'm 5'6".
Man, let me tell you, anytime I find myself back in nature, back in the park, I automatically turn back into a child. Automatically, my eyes get big. I'm so curious. I'm relaxed. I'm not thinking about anything other than the environment that I'm in. I don't want to go, and it's because it's the mother. It's like we have to recognize. I heard this statement by this pastor. He's down here. He's African, and he said like, when we ask for things and we pray, we're supposed to ask with more authority, because the mother is here as a matrix to produce. Right. And it's going to produce what you ask for. This is why, when we constantly be like, yo, if they're so diabolic and they're evil, how do they keep achieving what they want? And it's because, they're asking for it, but they're demanding it. And they're getting it. We could get it just as much, but we don't ask. Right. So it's like when we are amongst the mother, I feel like I'm baby Hey Roo again. You know what I'm saying? I get right back into being that, because she's just so beautiful with all the curves and the greenery and the moist soil, and everything from the mycelium that's working into the soil, to the roots of the grass, to the dew on the grass, to the ladybugs, to the grasshoppers hopping around, to the dragonflies, to the flowers, to the medicinal herb, to the bushes, to the fragrances, to the fruit, to the birds flying over, to the deer that you see in the distance, and the little groundhog that scurries by, and the chipmunk and the squirrel hopping over to the tree, and the call of the crow and the hawk flying overhead, and the sun trickling through the trees, and the trees rustling as the wind breezes over your skin, and you hear owl in the distance deep into the woods somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, how do you get caught up in the world when you lock into that, as your breath sinks with the cicadas in the trees? Like, how do you deny that? How do you fall out of that once you connect with it? That's why there's so many billboards and so many frequencies and so many sounds to be like, hey, I'm way more important than that.
Than nature, yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Man, KT, this has been a wonderful. I know we didn't get too much into what we had to get, but exactly, the development, it keeps on representing.
I wanted to give people the medicine.
Yes.
Because we're honoring Dr. Sebi on his 10-year of transition.
Yes.
And there's so much information online. Everybody is a expert. Everybody, my mentor, Mr. Hooker, used the term verbally masturbating. That's what he called the term. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to come on here and just verbally masturbate. If anything, let me make love to the earth nice and slowly, and give these people the medicine that they could take away from, and they can use tonight, they can use tomorrow, they can use forever. That's the message that they should get today.
Balingo.
Yes.
Today,
sixth day of creation. Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, Sebi, you are missed, my brother.
Yes.
I don't know what he would have been doing today, and I'm gonna play this clip.
You know what he would have been doing today.
I know, but Sebi, oh man,
he would have been right here.
Yeah, exactly. Probably talking to Mr. G and said, I want to talk some shit right now.
What I'm saying? You had one of them things rolled up, putting that thing in the air, talking about Fauci.
Yeah. He probably would have been smoking Brother Richard's cigar, right? But you know what?
Come on, man.
I'm playing. It's from Honduras.
with his big feet all the way up. That man had the giant foot, bro.
Dr. Sebi. 10 years he transitioned to family.
Can't believe it, man.
10 years.
Can't believe it. It's happened that fast and that quick. Well, much love and light to the great ancestor. I'm so thankful to have been able to be placed in a position to come up under him from the moment I was born, and to have that energy imprinted upon me initially, as I started my path in my life. I can always, refer back to that. And, so grateful that he was able to interconnect with the world to such a degree that everybody pays forward and continues to replay and repost and reshare his words. So I can always get reminded, even when I'm in my life, he'll pop up, a sound bite will pop up, something will be shown, or somebody will quote him, or I'll be watching a show on Netflix or a movie and you'll hear his name, or somebody will refer to him, or you'll listen to a song like with Big Sean, you know what I'm saying? And you'll hear his name pop up. I'm like, wait a minute, did he say Dr. Sebi right there? Like, it constantly comes back up over and over again. So I'm forever grateful for the work that he's done and what he's done for my family and for my mother. My mother had such a fire when she was pregnant with me at the time, and looking for guidance with the power that she had. And I'm so happy that Sebi was able to make space for her and to teach her, so she was able to share those things with me and my brothers and my sister, and I'm able to pay it down to my family and my friends. It's a beautiful thing. I'm so grateful to have been part of this story.
Man, thank you, brother. Thank you, KT. And are you going to be at the Invest Fest?
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there.
Okay, so let me know you'll be there now, because I know I won't be there this year, but y'all enjoy, because I'm going to be at Queen of Force.
Yeah, I'll be in the building. I'll have some of the honey.
Yeah, I heard that.
Because I'm like if you invest in, if you got a business, you need them eyes got to work, because them eyes, vision is everything. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be dropping eyes.
Yeah, it's gonna be from the 7th through the 9th, and this weekend. So if y'all in Atlanta, Georgia, go and support my brothers over there. KT, his brothers, all of them gonna be there. They got they looking for volunteers, I heard. So big up to them, and big up to my man Jeff, and all the people, Red, Blue, and everybody that's gonna be there. And then don't forget, I'll be at Queen of Force things. My brother KT, I want to thank you so much for coming on for these
Thanks for having me, brother.
And it's been a pleasure, man. A plump, pleasing pleasure, and definitely like Les Brown would say back in the day. Sister Cafunia was in the chat. Everybody was in the chat. Big up to Sister Cafunia that's in the chat, and Holly Hammond and everybody. Reflection session, all of them. Yeah, this has been a reflection session, and I'm gonna go out with Dr. Sebi after I run the commercial. But thank you, brother KT, man, and I hope to see you soon, brother. And we'll definitely talk, man. And if you're coming to New York, let us know, man, so we can make this happen. Have a good time.
Oh, definitely, it's long overdue. I haven't been up top in a minute now.
Yeah, man, we need to keep Nicholas, because they might be renovating restoration area. So, family, Nicholas, we might have to be moving Nicholas somewhere else. So, but there is a Nicholas on 3rd. Her brother has a nice big spot with all kinds of extraordinary Marvel and DC toys, and also the herbal products on one side, and then the other side has it's called Nicholas on 3rd, man, in Manhattan. So y'all want to go check out the new Nicholas, and see where some of your money has gone through for the donations that y'all made for Nicholas Brooklyn. Go and check that out, man, and help that out, man. But thank you, KT, for coming on, man, and showing us love, brother. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, brother. Peace and love to the family.
Let me give you a round of applause. Let me not let you leave without applause. There you go.
Hey.
All right, beloved. Take care, man. Peace and love.
All right. Peace.
Yes, sir. That's our brother KT. I'm going to play some of this Dr. Sebi on out of here. We got to get on out of here with Doc, man, because that's my brother. I love him. Don't forget tomorrow, I'll be not here tomorrow. I'll probably be doing this lesson tomorrow before I play Dr. Sebi out of here. This lesson, I think I have the lesson up. No, I didn't put that lesson up yet. Hold on. I will be doing this lesson tomorrow. Let me make sure I got this one here. There it is. I'll be doing this lesson tomorrow, right here on King Simon Presents Only Quality People. This is the lesson I'll be doing. Where there is a will, there is a way. I'll be breaking down the mathematics of the word will and the way. You're going to find some very interesting mathematics behind those two words. Where there's a will, there's a way. So we're going to be doing a numerovational perspective of where there's a will, there's a way. All right? Because I want everybody to understand where, if you have the will to do it, there's a way to get it. And anyway, and Dr. Sebi proved that. And 10 years later, after he's transitioned, Dr. Sebi, man, will still be doing his Be Creative, even by the river. Don't forget this coming, of course, we just had KT. This coming Sunday, we have El Kibolan 44 and Nubian Remix. His beautiful wife, they're making their first debut together. The Physics of Self-Love and Meditation, August the 9th. I will be also from 6 to like 7:30. I will be hosting Moshood Fashion Show, part of Moshood Fashion Show, from 6 to 7:30 over there near Nicholas at Restoration Plaza. I am one of the MCs for that particular day. I'm going to drop some of the history, have a little fun, introduce some of the models and the designs. I used to do it back 30 years ago, so We're going to converge on Restoration Plaza from about, I think it's doors. It's free right there on the plaza. The showtime starts at 6 o'clock. So people will be there from like 3 o'clock. Showtime starts. They're going to be DJ, all that kind of stuff. So I'll be over there. And then I will be interviewing this beautiful couple right here. I'll keep around 44 Nubian remix. And then on the 12th, we have our beautiful sister that's going to be coming in live and direct. Alba La Pantrea. She's not only a astrologer, spiritual advisor, but she's also a world-renowned former runner. All right, she's big time, so I'm glad to have her back on my channel. And also on the 18th, I have the one and only HOK's goddess of debate and metaphysics teacher, the one and only Nepal Shadar will be with us. How women in the debate forum have reshaped history into herstory. And that's happening right here on Tuesday, August the 18th, with Sister Nepal will be with us live and direct. Sanetta's second wife, beautiful sister, man. Big up to Cynthia, of course, the first wife. You know, I'm shouting out the wives. I'm going to do that because I love Cynthia. Cynthia's Aquarius like me, but Nepal is going to be on with me. Cynthia's behind the scenes, so big up to Cynthia, but big up to Nepal that's going to be coming in to put in some work. And then on Wednesday, my brother, Mr. G, will be with us. The power of ancestral guidance in health and production. You know, he's the producer of Wendy Williams Show, one of the producers for Wendy Williams Show, one of the producers for the Nick Cannon, Dr. Sebi show, of course, documentary that's coming out. Also, he's just Giffy T, all the good stuff that he's doing, the Wadi Giffy T, him and KT doing the Nectar. Of course, you got to be with our brother. Big up to my beautiful sister. I was hanging out with her today. My dear priestess, the one, the only, Yendez, priestess Yendez, Neferatum, Oluwatoin. Got to big up her, Oluwatoin, her new name from out of the continent. And of course, go to her website if you want to find out more about her book called The Menopause Goddess. Make sure you support this beautiful empress. And her website is called shopancientblends.com. That's shopancientblends.com. Yes, our dear sister, student of Dr. African, a student of Queen of Ford, student of Dr. Sebi, and all the great ones. So enough respect to her and her shop. Make sure you go to her apothecary shop over there off of Madison Avenue and Tompkins. I was over there today, and she gave me some great products, some great mango butter, some charcoal soap. She gave me some sage to burn out this area, this house, and this whole area. Of course, we're doing that. And remember, make sure you join me on Patreon at King Simon Productions. Also, go to my new YouTube channel called The Simon Summaries. Oh, yeah, that's another YouTube channel that I got, The Simon Summaries. We're going to sum up a lot of this news that's going on in a numerical fashion. And if you want to do a face-to-face with me, we can be at Mint Porch, located at 2123 Caton Avenue, and that's in Brooklyn at the corner of Flatbush Avenue. It's a vegan restaurant, and if you do want to book a session and do it face-to-face, one-on-one consultation, I do the first and the fourth Saturdays of the month. Boom. Text me at 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. But if you just want to do it over the phone, you can text me your full name, date of birth. I got the 10-minute, the 15-minute, and the 30-minute session. Make sure you do that and show us some love, and we can make it happen. If you want to write your book, contact this sister. She can help you out with whatever you need: proofreading, copy editing, line editing, developmental editing, and ghostwriting. She can help you with that. And of course, check out my son at, of course, Green Studio NYC. All my books are available on Instagram. On Amazon. Make sure you check that out. Remember, I will be one of the speakers at Queen of Ford's event. That's queenoford.com or attendascension.com. 13th, she's doing a whole retreat and bathhouse and all of that. She's going to be walking the park early in the morning, doing the meditation, all of that stuff. They're going by the sea and all that stuff on the 13th. But on the 14th, 15th, and 16th, we will be at the Ifatayo Cultural Arts Academy over there at the Major R. Owens Community Center, that big armory over there on Bedford Avenue off of Eastern Parkway and Union Street. Myself, Queen Afua, Supernova, Yasser Ra Hotep, Catriel Wise, Koya Webb, we're all going to be there doing, I'm speaking on Saturday, so make sure y'all come out and support Queen Afua. And her birthday is also the 13th, so that's going to be good. And if you're into martial arts and you're down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, make sure y'all go to my nephew's dojo over there, Imhotep, Professor Imhotep. He did a great job the other day. We had a great job. And of course, tribute to Dr. Powell coming up next year. And again, this lesson is coming up. Family, let me play this Dr. Sebi video on out of here. Regardless of land, label, language, there's but one God, like Dr. Khalid used to say. Remember what Dr. B says, I forgive myself, my family, and others for imperfection, and I'm thankful for my life. Remember what the great Dr. Blair used to say. Please, universal creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open up my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only truth and your love now. Big up to Dr. Blair. And remember what the late, great Maya Angelou used to say. And still we rise. We're going to close out with Dr. Sebi. This is my lecture that I produced with Dr. Sebi back in 2009. We're going to close out with this brother right now. Today is 10 years since he passed on and transitioned. Rest in peace, Dr. Sebi. We love you, and you taught us well. Take care.
Brothers and sisters, the sisters have the healing. Dr. Sebi, like he quit working in the dairy farm at 13, he quit working in the commissary at 20, he quit the merchant marine at 30, now he's quitting healing at 76. And what am I going to do? I'm dedicating myself to vertical, organic, electric agriculture. Just like I developed the African biomineral electric cell phone. That, sisters, brothers and sisters, the African biomineral electric cell phone is registered in the Supreme Court of the United States or New York, that it is the only therapeutical approach to pathology that has benefited humanity. No other, and in our case, prevailing above the physicians. What does that make us? Oh, thank you. So now, should we create an institute around it? Yes. Of course. Because when the prosecuting attorney told the judge, Your Honor, he have that the Usher Research Institute cure AIDS. He is the one that cured the AIDS, and he's the one that's saying it. The judge said, but the paper read, Your Honor, AIDS has been cured by the Usher Research Institute. Didn't say nothing about me. She said, who makes up the institute? People that have received benefit from the entity. She said, that is sufficient. That is how all institutes begin. Don't be afraid. We now could erect an institute that the giving of the African biomineral electric cell phone rise supreme above all else. You and I did that, not me. I'm you standing here. I'm your brother. I am of the same gene as you. How could I be so different? How could I be so smaller than you? In fact, I'm stupid, and I like doing stupid things. I enjoy doing it. Sometime in my house, I would drop something on the floor. I'd pick it up, put it back, and drop it again. People would pass in front of me in the cars. I would stop. I say, hey, that's cool. I like that because it shows the degree of tolerance. So in essence this evening, for us to see each other's as we should see each other's with love and brother. Because I remember when my mother used to cloak me at night with the cover, you know, when you're kind of chilly, and she come and she pull the cover over you, it feels good, isn't it? Of course it does. But why can't we do that for each other? For one another. But to get to that state, you're not going to get it eating lamb and pork chops. You will not, because it will bother the central nervous system. Okay? So brothers and sisters, you've been here a long time, and I don't want to hold you up too long because there will be a period of question and answer. But in essence, today, what Dr. Sebi came to share with you is that it is food that determines the state of your being. It's not a philosophy, it's not a religion, it's not politics. It's you. The you that they don't want expressed because there is fear. Well, me, I lived it. I owe allegiance to no one but my race. You. I owe allegiance to you, not to a philosophy, especially a philosophy that came out of Europe. Because, you see the tiger showed me that the Bengal tiger, when she has cubs, does she take her cubs to be trained by a Siberian tiger? Does she train her own cubs the ways of the Bengal tiger? But when we take our cubs to be trained, we take them to a European curriculum. And then later on we say, why can't black people listen? We've been listening. We are good listeners. We're so good. We excel in that which we have listened to. We become mechanics like myself. I became an engineer. But we have not listened to that which God designed for us.
King Simon presents wisdom from the elders, knowledge for the people, from the names to the numbers, from the birthdays to the patterns. Welcome to the ministry of numerovation. King Simon, King Simon, numbers never lie. King Simon, King Simon, we elevate the mind. He brought the others to the people, let the wisdom flow. Ancient knowledge for the future, helping spirits grow. Dr. Sebi spoke the truth, gave the world a key. Dr. Africa broke the knowledge of our history. Queen Afua brought the healing, showing how to rise. Lloyd straight home, read the numbers, open many eyes. My boom and share the wisdom. Abu brought the light. King Simon built a platform where the elders could unite. Every name has a vibration, every date has information. Every word can show a sign when you learn to read between the lines. King Simon, King Simon, wisdom for the nation, breaking down the numbers through the art of numerovation. Names and birthdays, words and signs, patterns moving through the rhythm of time. King Simon, King Simon, helping people see the numbers tell a story hidden underneath. Motivation, elevation, knowledge for the mind. Follow King Simon. Numbers never lie. One for the spirit, two for the mind, three for the pattern, four for the sign, five for the movement, six for the soul, seven brings the wisdom. Let the knowledge unfold. The Simon summary, bringing news into the light, taking trending conversations, breaking down what's right. Looking at the headlines from a numerical view, showing every pattern hiding underneath the news. Metaphysical levels, deeper than the eye, connecting all the symbols from the earth into the sky. Not just entertainment, this is food for thought. Every lesson brings a jewel, every number can be taught. Every name has a vibration, every date has information. Every word can show a sign when you learn to read between the lines. King Simon, King Simon, wisdom for the nation, breaking down the numbers through the art of numerovation. Names and birthdays, words and signs, patterns moving through the rhythm of time. King Simon, King Simon, helping people see the numbers tell a story hidden underneath. Feel the drum, feel the sound. Ancient wisdom all around. From the ancestors to the youth, numbers guide us to the truth. King Simon, King Simon. Wisdom for the nation. Breaking down the numbers through the art of numerovation. Names and birthdays, words and signs. Patterns moving through the rhythm of time. King Simon, King Simon. Let the message fly. Motivation through the numbers. Reaching spirits worldwide. The ministry is moving. Now the people recognize. Follow King Simon. Woo! Numbers never lie. King Simon presents the ministry of numerovation. They're the Simon summaries, honoring the elders, teaching the people, elevating the vibration. King Simon, numbers never lie.
As a woman of a certain age, there comes a time when our bodies begin to speak, to shift, to change, but not about something that's ending, but about becoming more aware, more attuned, more seasoned, and more aligned with our truth. Women are opening these pages and remembering themselves. This is more than a book. This is a return, a remembrance, a chrysalis opening. Living like a menopause goddess. And this is only the beginning.
From the roots where the earth still speaks, to the fire where they always breathe. Hands of wisdom, time can't erase. Every drop got a story to say. Slow it down, feel the rhythm inside. This ain't rush, this is sacred design. From the soil to the soul to the light, what you hold is a gift of life. Feel it in your soul, give it, let the story unfold. Ancestral power in every drop. This that legacy, this don't stop. Rooted deep in you, give it, yes, pure and true. Not something you drink, you receive. This that energy you believe. Hey, hey. Ooh, Luwadi. Oh, Luwadi. Give it. This is where your elders hit and drums sing perfectly.